What is up, down, and sideways, you beautiful people? We back. It's League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys, and we had the match of the week in the LPL, and I'm telling you, I warned you, I warned everyone. This is got IG showing up and overperforming, reaching their ceiling all over it. A 4-4 IG squad against the 8-0 EDG squad, and of course, it's IG who shows up with the 2-0. That's just how it goes.
IG has to be one of the only organizations, one of the only teams in existence to get a buff or a debuff anytime you go up against one of these top-level squads.
They get both.
They absolutely get both, but this time it is the buff that comes through for IG in their match against EDG. This was what you said. You warned everybody that IG has a history of finding a way to ruin these type of runs for squads, play up to the level of caliber on the day, and that's exactly what we saw from the IG squad.
13 matches in a row EDG had won coming into this. We're going back to the first week of the split. They dropped the game to OMG and FPX in the first two matches, and since then they've only been 2-0 in squads. And initially you look, okay, Lucas is in for IG in game one, and Puff was the big one. His 2021 debut, they threw him in against EDG. And Viper, who has been, the best AD carry, one of the best players in the entire scene so far, especially in the LPL. And all of a sudden, Puff has fantastic performances, would have been the best performances he had in all of 2020 in his first game of the year.
And we're not even talking about the situation where you're looking at EDG played well. There was nothing egregious in what was going on from EDG throughout the series. Viper was strong. He was playing with some power. Just the power that was there was not enough to take down what Puff was handing out from IG.
Yeah, he has the one fantastic team fight around the Dragon, which completely flips this game, puts IG in the driver's seat. The Shy was absolutely terrorizing in team fights as well with the Aatrox, and this is, classic the Shy. We're finally seeing, I don't want to say consistent, but at least more often we're seeing these kind of performances from him.
I don't know what must have been going on, but maybe EDG said a little bit of trash talk and they reminded him of G2 and Fnatic, because that was the level of play that you got from, exactly, that's the thing that you got from the Shy returning to do some more damage on that Aatrox. You love to see the Shy play at this type of level, get this type of performance from him from IG, because as we've already talked about, Puff was popping off. And if Puff's popping off and these other things are going right for IG, that means we're not talking about Rookie having to be the only positive part here. And if that's what's going on for IG, it's success. It's wins in the dub column for them. And that's what this match was against EDG.
After the first game, it was kind of like, okay, that's fine. IG showing up. Great. We actually have a series. We're going to have to see EDG compete. Game 2 rolls around. It starts, and you get the Ezreal for Viper. The Shy is on Ornn duty, and then you look, and there's almost an ace. It's an unofficial ace. They get 5 kills pre-10 minutes. EDG has a 2k gold lead before 9 minutes. IG gets too hypey in the bot lane, and you're like, all right. Immediately, I think, all right, we're going to game 3, because that's how insane the early game was.
Exactly, and especially how EDG have piloted their leads so far this year. Once they've been able to get any type of advantage, it has absolutely ballooned and snowballed into major advantages for the EDG squad. They weren't able to do that with the advantages that they did pick up. Absolutely, you're right. Slip-ups and mental mistakes from the IG squad that leads to the ace for the squad side of EDG. Just they rebounded and regrouped themselves so fast that there was not able to really take that advantage, even the XP and the gold that they got from it, and push any advantage elsewhere for EDG.
The turning point is, again, Puff in a team fight. This time it's right outside the Baron pit, and EDG gets Samira. That's all I could say. It looks like Viper is in a fine position on the Ezreal to clean up this fight. All of a sudden, Puff dives in with the Samira ulti, and I feel like if you're Viper playing that team fight out, you don't expect that damage. I know Samira's insane with her ulti, but it's just disgusting sometimes. And that one was disgusting.
It was absolutely disgusting. And one of the best things that you see coming from that is that it was the Samira, as you said, right? Is that this identification on the side from EDG is that, okay, there's no way we can get that amount of damage can come through. But of course it does. And that's one of those instances where we see with a new champion still your knowledge and adjustment of what you can expect needs to be changed. And unfortunately for EDG, that type of mistake majorly costly with Puff pushing through on the Samira.
I'm not shocked that EDG or that IG comes up with the upset win here. Even a 2-0, I'm not shocked that this is what happened. The fact that Puff was the standout and turning point in back-to-back games, that's shocking to me. I'll be shocked by that one.
I agree that it's very shocking. And one of the things that I think moving forward for a lot of other squads, not just, focusing on this IG EDG series, EDG is not going away. They're not, all of a sudden, oh my God, now they're going to go, that's not what's the situation. I know no one is really ever, you got to be really wacky to be thinking that something like that's going to be going on. But when you're examining it and you're looking at this series in the microcosm, I think a lot of other squads that might have abilities to pump up resources into their ADC, have someone carry from that position, might be looking at this into the EDG style and say, even as good as Viper's been, we can challenge him down there. And that, I think, is the important global consensus from this match.
Yeah. EDG, they're 8-1 now. They still have the least losses with 4 in all of the LPL. They're still sitting in that first place. So really what this series does is you get more excited for IG than you are disappointed with EDG because they've been so good and consistent throughout the split. And by the way, I think it was Munchables who tweeted, EDG hasn't beaten IG in the regular season since 2017. 2017!
Hey, and knowing how the LPL goes, that is a long time. Crazy to think about that. This series felt like, when Thanos gets hit by Iron Man and he's just like, oh man, all that just for a drop of blood. That's what this series feels like. All that, everything that goes on, all this that we're gonna talk about EDG losing, and at the end of the day, it's just a drop of blood for EDG. This is just one loss. They are going to be back, and they're going to be angry to push forward and get back in the win column.
Yeah, and the dangerous thing is now there's going to be hype for IG. Oh my God, they 2-0 EDG. They're coming back.
The most dangerous thing is hype for IG.
They're going back to the top of the table. I'm fully expecting them to come crashing down against Suning. They play them on Sunday. I'm barreling towards a loss against Suning for IG.
I wouldn't call it out of the equation at the very least with IG. The important thing is this is a valuable win that you were expecting against an EDG squad, and for IG, where they are in the standings, every single game matters. Every single victory absolutely adds up, especially when you're trying to keep pace in those playoff spots for the LPL.
And at the very least, Puff is warranted at least another series start, and Wink might have to actually start sweating for that starting spot.
Yeah, well, that's certainly absolutely how I would look at what happened here, because Wink hasn't been impressive enough so far this year for what you would expect him to be at this level. Hasn't been quite up to the par. And as for someone like Puff to step in and deliver this type of performance right away, you have to be giving him more looks.
And same with Lucas. Maybe he wasn't to the same level of impressive as Puff, but hey, it's a bot lane. You go together, which means he'll probably be starting for the foreseeable future. But Suning on Sunday, as I mentioned, for IG, they're still just 5-4, which obviously is in the very thick of the LPL playoff race, but it's 7th. They're sitting 7th place right now is IG.
So that's why I'm saying that every single game, every victory really does matter for this IG squad, because they're not in a position where it's, we dropped this one and, we're IG, so we're up and down all over the place. And then, we're just going to sneak in. You can't do that in the LPL playoffs right now, and especially with how talented that middle pack towards the upper level looks to be. And if you need to be there and you need to be getting wins, I'm sorry, IG, I need to say the no word. You need to be consistent. You need to be consistent to get into these playoffs for the LPL.
And even more consistent when the best ofs come around. Just look at the last few playoff runs that IG has had. Even finishing as one of the top seeds with a bye, all of a sudden, they get 3-0 or, they're not even close in some of these series. So still plenty to work on for IG, but confidence getting instilled back into them after this. EDG still not concerned whatsoever. Now they can focus on the playoffs and not be worried about that perfect record. But if you're not watching LPL, I know it doesn't get love on Reddit. You got to be watching the LPL, guys. It's the most competitive region, and it ain't close in terms of competitiveness.
I'm going to make this point, as you were just saying that. It reminds me, and it lights a little bit of a fire. What's going on here? Come on, guys. I know everybody likes to check in on Reddit, a little bit of a nice, maybe nice is the wrong word, but an information source. I'm not going to even say good, an information source. But one of the ones absolutely for a lot of people and a lot of people around the world, they like to check the post-game threads. They like to get their information, get their stats, read through. What's going on? Show the LPL some love, you boys. Let's get it going. This indifference towards the LPL, you're missing out. You're losing out on not getting some of this fan. Let's get it going.
Yeah, I'd like more than just who won and what the game score was, because that's basically what the post-game threads are. We need more. Watch the LPL highlights. That's all the time today, though, for League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. Thanks for hanging. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back on Monday to recap all that action.